The other day, I read this article that said 3 billion people worldwide are unable to afford a healthy diet, which got me thinking, does unhealthy food really cost less than healthier choices? So for the next 100 hours, I'm gonna take this to the extreme and only eat healthy food from the Dollar Tree to find out if you can get healthier on a budget. Here are the rules. 1. All food must come from the Dollar Tree. 2. All foods must be real, whole foods. No ultra-processed foods with huge lists of ingredients. 3. At the end of these 100 hours, I have to make a nice meal for my wife using only Dollar Tree food. And she has to like it because it's for her birthday.
Let's go out tonight, you know? Talking about sitting down, enjoying a gourmet meal at a place that's real special.
The Dollar Tree.
Enjoy.
Skillet.
Let's go shopping. Over the next 4 days, I'll be sure to tell you how much each meal costs, and I'll rank how good the meals are using a 5-point scale. I've never shopped for food at the Dollar Tree, but the first thing I noticed was that they only have a couple of aisles of food, and most of it's highly processed.
Not healthy.
This is a problem, because when I lost over 40 pounds in less than 3 months, the only diet rule I ever followed was this: eat less processed foods.
This might be harder than I thought.
All of this stuff is out, and all of this stuff is also out. But once I began to look a little more closely, that's when I began to find some items that fit my healthy food rule.
Pistachios, asparagus,
Corn,
okra,
vegetable blend,
beans, what a wonderful fruit. The more you eat, the more you... Tuna.
Now, I knew the Dollar Tree had changed all their prices 3 years ago,
It's the $1.25 store.
but I hadn't ever noticed that they now have items that are $3, $4, and $5. And they even have a refrigerated and freezer section.
Probably shouldn't get $3 ribeye, right? Ooh, tiny cheese. Probably shouldn't get $3 salmon, right? We got milk. Definitely shouldn't get $5 shrimp, right?
These meals are gonna be challenging because I'm missing a lot of essentials that I usually get, like chicken, not in a can, and potatoes, not in a can, and eggs. Okay, these are olives. They didn't have any eggs in a can, but maybe that's a good business idea. All right, let's get back home and I'll show you what I got. This is about the time I started to regret doing this during my wife's birthday. I'm not sure I can even make a good meal with what I've got. Boom. Well, that's not that epic. 1 second. Boom. Now that I have this all spread out, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it did. Let me show you what's here. Because they don't have fresh produce, I ended up with a lot of frozen and canned vegetables. All of the meat is also canned or frozen. And we have an assortment of random stuff that all falls within the rule of healthy, minimally processed foods. And I'll show you everything I'm using as I eat it over the next 4 days.
Smells like fish in here. What is that? What was that? Some sort of signal?
On the morning of day 1, I headed to the kitchen to make my Dollar Tree coffee and to figure out what meals I'm going to be eating for the next 4 days. Since most mornings this is all I have for breakfast, good coffee is kinda important to me. I rank this coffee at like a 2. It's not the worst coffee I've ever tasted, but it ain't good. If I eat breakfast, I usually just have eggs. Since the Dollar Tree didn't have any eggs, I'll just be skipping breakfast. This puts me on a 16 and 8 intermittent fasting schedule, where I only eat between the hours of 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. But that still leaves me with lunch and dinner. For someone who is pretty health conscious, I admittedly am a terrible cook. I'm also a very lazy cook. But my wife told me I could use ChatGPT to get meal ideas using the ingredients I have. And some of these seem all right. Others are a little sketchy. For lunch, I mixed a can of coconut milk and half a bag of frozen fruit to make a smoothie containing healthy fats and carbohydrates. And for protein, I'm gonna eat a pouch of tuna. I'm also gonna eat a thing of pistachios. So probably not the best lunch, but this is what we got. Now, I happen to like tuna, and I love pistachios. But I was pretty sure the smoothie was gonna taste like sand. That's actually really good. All in all, I would rank this meal at 3 stars. The smoothie was surprisingly good, and I could probably eat this for lunch every day if I had to. It also kept me full until dinner, when it was time to try out this $5 salmon. I cooked up a big batch of brown rice to use over the next several days. I tossed some asparagus in the air fryer, and I mixed true lemon packets in water to make lemon juice, which I drizzled over everything. And in the end, I had this healthy looking meal. Asparagus, I probably cooked for way too long because it looks like grass now. With the salmon, I definitely cooked this longer than I needed to because salmon from the Dollar Tree sketches me out a little bit. All right, I know the brown rice is gonna be fine. Tastes like lemony brown rice. Asparagus? I don't like it. Cricket, you might be getting this. Come here. You want asparagus? It's salmon from the Dollar Tree. If I die after this, you know who to blame. And Tracy, you get a pretty big payoff with my life insurance. So not only did I not get sick, that actually tastes really good, and I even had some leftovers for tomorrow's lunch. I didn't keep the asparagus though. Maybe my wife's birthday meal won't be so bad after all. Cause I was feeling pretty good about eating healthy on a budget until things started to change the next morning.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Yes, it's very hard to drink.
I think I'm gonna change the coffee from the Dollar Tree to 1 star out of 5. It's like undrinkable. So I quit drinking the coffee and just had water during my fasting windows. I also drank a glass of water with true lemon and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Supposedly this is good for you. For lunch on day 2, I had another smoothie and the leftover salmon and brown rice from the night before. Don't judge me. I was still a little hungry after this, so I ate a handful of peanuts and freeze-dried apple-flavored styrofoam. Admittedly, my lunches weren't very great during this challenge, and they got real sketchy starting on day 3. But it got me through till dinner, and I had something real fancy to cook. For dinner, we have a stir-fry with green beans, value bacon, irregular slices, and steak. Typically I cook with real butter or avocado oil, but the Dollar Tree didn't have those. They did have some fake butter, but this stuff is more vegetable oil than anything else, so it doesn't fit my healthy food rule. Fortunately, bacon grease is awesome for cooking in, and because all the soy sauce at the Dollar Tree had sugar in it, I just used this Cajun spice I found. This is actually better than the salmon I had last night. I'm gonna rank this 4.5 out of 5. And remember, this is Dollar Tree meal, so this isn't like against some fancy restaurant. This dinner was so good, I ended up eating all of the meat, which left me with just some green beans left over for tomorrow's lunch. And that turned out to be a really bad choice.
Don't throw up.
Today's day 3, and we have a pretty interesting recipe to try out for lunch. It's tuna and bean salad with giardia. Okay, I know that's not how you pronounce it, but if anything's gonna make me sick, it's probably gonna be this meal. Or the shrimp. Or the steak. ChatGPT told me to combine the tuna and beans and then mix in giardia, mustard, and garlic powder for a quick salad with a tangy bite. I like all of these ingredients by themselves, so this probably won't be as bad as I think it's gonna be. Bon appetit. No, can't do it. Okay, so this combination of foods was as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So for lunch, I ate plain tuna, olives, and more apple styrofoam. Again, not the best lunch, but it kept me full until dinner when it was time to attempt shrimp stir fry with okra and mustard. Okay, so maybe using ChatGPT wasn't the best life decision I made this week. I should also mention that much to the dismay of my southern grandpa, I don't like okra. But this is what we've got. Shrimp from the Dollar Tree. Yep, that's good. All right, moment of truth. Okra. Oh, hot. It's really hot. Okay, ChatGPT.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
How you doing, fella?
Papa, I got some good news for you.
I need it. What is it?
I now like okra.
You know, I could have told you a long time ago you should eat okra. That's good for you.
This meal was a solid 4 stars. I can only hope that tomorrow's birthday dinner tastes as good as this meal.
We wasted the good surprise on you.
All right. Today's the day. It's Tracy's birthday. But first, I have to try burrito bowls with canned chicken.
Burrito bowls are a staple meal in our house, since they're pretty healthy and they taste amazing. Granted, I typically use fresh chicken thighs, not canned chicken, but I still have high hopes for this meal. You may have also noticed that I don't measure any of my food or count my calories. That's because I've learned that if I stick to real foods and avoid highly processed ones, I don't usually eat beyond when I feel full. So the calories and my weight take care of themselves, especially when you're also doing intermittent fasting. Okay, so it ain't Chipotle, and the canned chicken is kinda salty, but it's by far the best lunch I've had this week. 'Cause I'll admit, the lunches during this challenge weren't great, but the dinners have been surprisingly better than I'd hoped. And I've even lost a couple pounds after just 3 days of eating healthier. So I feel like eating healthier can cost less than I had originally thought. But it's time for the moment my wife's been waiting for. Tracy's favorite meal is steak with potatoes and a side salad. I've got steak, kind of, and I've got potatoes from a can, and I've got vegetable blend. So my hopes for this meal aren't too high, but fortunately I have a surprise for my wife after we eat.
Dun, dun, dun. It's hard to mess up canned veggies. Obviously, they actually exceed expectations. And a little bit more rubbery than I'm used to. I'd eat it again if I had to.
You'd eat it again? Out of 5 stars, what would you give this?
Like a 3. Healthy Dollar Tree. Maybe we'll start just doing all our groceries there.
I actually have one more surprise for your birthday, but we need to turn the lights off and pull all the blinds. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, so I got my wife a cake for being a good sport about her steak dinner. Because even though this challenge was a bit ridiculous, I did end up saving a lot of money this week. This is the part of the video where I'll jump cut it and say, 4 hours later, when Tracy was done cutting the cake. And because I ate healthy over the last 4 days, it turns out I can have my cake and eat it too, without any regrets. No regrets. What's better, this cake or the steak dinner I made you?
Definitely the cake.
What if I told you this cake cost the same as 12 steaks?